Well, hello, podcast people. I'm so excited to share with you all today a fantastic conversation that I had with Terra Lopez. Terra serves as the community manager and head of marketing at Backline. If you don't know who Backline is, they are a nonprofit that connects music industry professionals and their families with mental health and wellness resources. I'd gotten alerted to them just kind of in passing. I saw an act one time and the drummer had on one of their t-shirts. I knew nothing about Backline. I started to look into it a little bit and was really just fascinated by the work that they do for all of the musicians and artists in our collective community. Terra also hosts a magnificent podcast called This Is What It Feels Like. I definitely encourage you to go check that out because it's very well put together and has some very interesting topics. She's also a musician. I don't know how this girl finds time in the day to get all the things done that she has to get done. But regardless, it was really good to meet her. I encourage you to go check out her music, check out her podcast, and certainly check out Backline. Let's get on with the show. Well, it's good to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
So I've got you, I did a little bit of stalking before we connected, and I saw that you're the community manager and head of marketing, and I think also artist partnerships. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
You know, for people that don't know about Backline, I first got alerted to who you guys were because I saw Joe Russo from J-Rad wearing y'all's shirts on stage. And I was like, oh, well, what's Backline? And of course, that made me look. But for folks that don't know, can you talk a little bit about what that fantastic organization does and kind of what your role is there?
Absolutely. So we have been around we're closing in on 6 years this year, and we are a nonprofit that connects music industry professionals and their family members with mental health and wellness resources. And we serve everyone in the industry. So that goes from artists to managers to promoters to touring crew to venues, staff, and their families. And so we do that by connecting our community with quality mental health care resources that specifically understand this line of work. So whether it's through case management or support groups or wellness resources, we kind of provide, as many resources and tools as possible for those in the industry. I have been with the organization for close to 4 years now. And as community manager, as a nonprofit, you're wearing many hats. We are a small team. And so alongside community management, I also am head of marketing. So any and all, front-facing campaigns that we do, I'm kind of in charge of. And also head of artist partnerships. So just really trying to bring awareness to folks in the industry and let them know that our services are here, they're free, and they're for them.
And you're a musician too, right? I saw you, Rituals of Mine and Sister Crayon, are a couple of projects you've done in the past. What do you play?
I sing. I sing for both projects, and I've been doing that for a really long time. And I think that's honestly what really got me interested in working with Backline is I know how difficult touring and the industry in general is. And so when I saw the work that Backline was doing, I'm a huge mental health advocate. Mm-hmm. Prior to this, I just thought, wow, if I can bring my two passions, music and mental health, together, it would be a dream. And so it's been an incredible journey so far.
I was looking at, you've got these touring notebooks. So like for an artist or for their family, for their partner. And I was skimming through the family partner edition, and it's just cool that it just gives little tips on things to do, like even everything from, good night texts to the kids every evening, and like very detailed in how to maintain a relationship, I think. When folks are out on the road, is that kind of the purpose of the notebook?
Yeah, so we have two versions of the touring notebook. One is for specifically partners, families, the touring industry, and then also one for individuals. And they're both created to help with the toll and the unique struggles that folks can face on the road. And so along with tips and practical, tangible resources in there, there's stories, there's a lot of insight just so that, we want folks to know on the road that they're not alone, that what maybe they're experiencing or feeling has been felt by others and is a universal feeling. And so, the tour notebook was created by mental health professionals and actually partners of touring industry members as well. So there's a lot of really great insight there. We actually also just soft launched our pre-tour pulse check, which is another resource for touring professionals. And it's created to support everyone, artists, crew, touring professionals, as they set their intentions, they focus on their needs prior to the tour and strengthen communication before hitting out on the road. We actually have a full tour support resource hub for individuals. Everything is free. All the resources are there because we know, especially now, just how difficult the touring climate is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask you the question in a minute. Without getting too political, I'm wondering, and I've seen a little bit of uptake with one of the organizations I volunteer with, but just with the full frontal attack on our transgender community and just have you seen organizations like Backline have got to be just such a great lifeline for people that feel like they are being attacked from every direction. I guess my question is, have you seen more need in this time that we're in right now?
Definitely. Yeah. Just this year, and we're halfway into the year, right? We have seen an uptick in nearly all of our case submissions, and folks reaching out have doubled, if not tripled. From the start of the year started with the LA wildfires, and there was a huge need, a huge help that folks needed there. And then it just kind of rolled into, everything that's been going on politically, which, indirectly and directly affects everyone, especially those hitting the road, whether it's, worrying about traveling and visas and whatnot, or just discrimination. I mean, there's a lot of different factors and variables right now affecting touring professionals and even just music industry professionals in general. And so we have absolutely seen the need for mental health care and wellness care rise dramatically this year.
Yeah. And one of the things I noticed on your website, for people that may be remote or may be looking for aid, or maybe looking for more of like an online support group, there's a number of communities that you guys offer, whether it's the talks that you have on Real Talk, the Green Room Support Group, and the Backline and Sona Fireside Chats. Can you talk a little bit about those and what those designed to do?
Absolutely, yeah. So we know that a big part of the industry, needs to be based around community, and it needs to be based around communication, ending the stigma around mental health. And the way that we do that and can do that as a society is to kind of normalize the conversation, not make these conversations so scary or taboo. And so our community's portion of the organization is very, very crucial to the work that we do. And so every Tuesday, we have a virtual support group that anyone from around the country can join. And it's led by 2 mental health providers. And it's a space to just sit, listen, or share any kind of unique struggles that folks are dealing with. So whether, we get folks who are currently on the road, they log in and maybe they need some support on an issue or a communication situation. We also have folks who are back home and need some support adjusting from having been on the road. And then with our Real Talk conversations, along with the fireside chats, those are really opportunities to speak to the artists and songwriters specifically about mental health, but also about, themselves as a whole person. So I host both of those, and really the opportunity to get to know an artist beyond their music is always the goal. So we talk about mental health, we talk about creativity, we talk about life on the road, the realities of the industry, social media and the impact that has on folks. We also talk about joy and healing and grief. So it kind of, those conversations, they're called Real Talk for a reason. They get very deep very quickly. And those have been such a great way to get the community kind of rallying around the individual who wants to be open and vulnerable. And also it's a great way for artists to be able to connect to their fans on a much deeper level.
I think I'm going to start joining some of these. It's such a good feeling just to have a safe place where you can be vulnerable. And the fact that you guys offer this remotely is just so valuable. I'll definitely share that out in the show notes, but what a great thing that you guys do.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if people want to get involved, you guys offer, there's like a referral network. You could become a partner. Looks like you do some things with venues. Do you want to touch on that a little bit, please?
Yeah. So a big program that we have is our venue signage program. And so right now in every single AEG and Live Nation venue across the nation, there is Backline signage in the green rooms. So, with QR codes where folks can take a scan of the QR code and that directly links you to Backline and all of the resources we have. Because again, we're trying to not only raise awareness that these services are here and available to folks, but also that we're here for this particular sector of the industry. And so venues, if they want to get the, free signage up in their green rooms, we have a place on the website where venue folks and staff can come and download the sheets and then just print them out right then and there and hang them up in the green room. We also have, just a lot of various different programs. So for mental health professionals, if they want to be a part of our referral network, they can submit a form. We vet every single person that's within our network, and we're always trying to grow it. It's growing rapidly. I think we have over 1,300 mental health professionals across the country at the moment, and that's growing every single day. And it's really, the goal with that is that we want to work with mental health providers who have a deep understanding of the industry. Because, with my personal experience, having gone to therapy, it's so refreshing to not have to tell your therapist about your job or about, have to explain like, hey, I didn't get a lot of sleep on the road or last night because I had a show. And it's like, the folks that work within our referral network know the industry intimately. They've either been in the industry themselves or they have partners who are in it. So that is just a huge barrier that is lifted immediately.
That's beautiful
for individuals that start. Yeah, it's a big deal because you don't want to feel judged, and you also don't want to have to spend your entire first couple of sessions having to explain your lifestyle and
Right.
just life on the road.
Yeah, and it's not like you're just going out there living the rock star life. I mean, there's real world problems that go with that, just like anybody else, I presume.
Exactly.
It's funny. When I got connected with you guys, we were talking about doing this chat, and they sent me your name. Of course, I'm a huge podcast listener. I think because I'm a bit ADD, it's easier for me to listen to things than it is to read. So I spend a lot of time listening to podcasts. And I have to pay you the compliment. The podcast that you have, which is called "This Is What It Feels Like," is absolutely fantastic. I don't know who does your mixing, like before you put out your shows, but it is so good.
You're listening to This Is What It Feels Like, where we tell stories that deserve to be heard directly from those who have lived them. I'm Terra Lopez. America has a loneliness problem.
Loneliness poses a health risk just as deadly as smoking.
More and more people are missing that connection and are feeling lonely.
Loneliness is not just a public health crisis, it's an epidemic.
We are experiencing higher levels of loneliness than ever before. According to a recent report by the U.S. Surgeon General, half of us are lonely. That's 1 in 2 American adults who report feeling loneliness. Just think about that for a second. 1 in 2 of your friends, of your family members, of your coworkers feel lonely. But why? Studies show that Americans are reporting having fewer closer friendships than ever before. Social media can make us feel like we're connected, but online interactions can lack the depth and nuance that often comes with in-person conversations, leaving many of us feeling more lonely the more time we spend isolated. We use our phones and our computers for everything. We buy our clothes online, order our food on apps, and we ask AI for answers to questions we have. Each interaction online was once an interaction we had in person. Don't get me wrong, I love technology. I use it every day. I think it's incredible to see how much it's been able to do in bringing us together in ways that we never thought possible. There are so many positives when it comes to technology. We also live in a society that values self-reliance and independence, which can sometimes stray from the idea that what we really need is community. Community, which humans have relied on for survival since the dawn of time. There's plenty of reasons as to why we as a nation are lonely. And while it might not seem like a huge deal, loneliness can cause some serious health issues and even lead to premature death. According to a recent study by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, loneliness can cause a 29% increased risk of heart disease, a 32% increased risk of stroke, and a 50% increased risk of developing dementia for older adults. The U.S. Surgeon General went even so far as to say that loneliness can be as harmful to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And that's just some of the physical consequences. If we want to look at the mental health toll of loneliness, research shows that loneliness can increase stress, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, psychosis, substance abuse, and suicide. So loneliness is a big deal. A lot of us are hurting from it. As I've gotten older, I found it to be very easy to isolate. Life gets busy. To-do list grows, deadlines loom, chores pile up. It truly seems like there's never enough time in the day. And so I forget to reach out to those that I love. I get stressed out, depressed, anxious. But instead of reaching out to friends about it, I keep it in and distract myself with work. I don't want to be a burden to anyone, so I don't reach out to friends, even though I know that they would text me back. But most importantly, they'd understand. This has been a cycle that has been going on for a few years now. So I wanted to take an honest look at friendship, at community, at connection, and what it takes to cultivate, nurture, and maintain long-lasting friendships and connections. And surprisingly, I had the perfect person to talk to right in front of me. My mother-in-law, Nancy Jo Hasty. She's easily the most social person I've ever known. It's not uncommon for her to go out with friends 4 to 5 times a week. She's constantly connected with her friends. My wife and I recently asked her out of curiosity how many people she could reach out to if she was in a bind. And her answer was 50 people. And she's not exaggerating. She could reach out to those 50 people and any one of them would be there to help her. In particular, over the years, Nancy has talked about this group of friends that she has. She refers to them as the BGSC, Big Girls Summer Camp. It's a group of 20 women who have been friends with one another for over 50 plus years. Some of the women have been friends with one another since kindergarten, and they're now in their early to mid-60s. They meet up every year on the third weekend of August for 4 days to catch up on each other's lives, reconnect, and bond. I've always been fascinated by this group because who has the time to plan to meet up every year? And how do you sustain a friendship for 50 plus years? How does friendship even endure through all the changes in life, through political divides, through conflict, through misunderstandings? My wife and I were invited to dinner with the Big Girls Summer Camp in Napa this year to sit down with some of the women from the group to ask them just that. How do they do it? After all these years, how are they still such good friends? How do they navigate conflict between one another? How do they stay so bonded through difficult life moments? And what advice do they have for those of us about how we can maintain long-lasting friendships in our lives? And what I witnessed firsthand was that friendship in life can get better as we get older. This is what 50 years of friendship feels like.
Do you do everything yourself with the show, or do you have some support from a editing standpoint?
So I edit everything myself, record everything myself. But luckily, I work with my music producer. He is the one who mixes and masters everything. So he helps me get it over the finish line.
Oh, it sounds so good, Tara.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That really means a lot that you checked it out.
Well, and and I love the premise of the show. There's a few that I've listened to. There's the one about catcalling. Of course, there's a couple different episodes that relate to mental health. The one that really got me though yesterday was I was listening to the one that was caring for a dying parent, and I was like, oh my God, like I had to turn it off for a second because it was hitting a little too close to home, but it's so good.
Thank you so much. That one actually surprisingly is resonating with a lot of people. I think that's the whole goal with the podcast, is just trying to find universal themes and also so that folks know that they're not alone in this, which, specifically caring for a dying parent, that situation can make you feel so isolated and so alone. And so I've gotten probably the most response from that particular episode because I think a lot of us, unfortunately, are dealing with it.
I'm looking forward to the Leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses one too. That looks like it's probably going to be super interesting. So I'm going to check that one out next.
Oh yeah, no, please check it out. It's some remarkable stories on that one.
How the hell do you find time to do everything that you do, Superwoman?
I just love momentum. I don't know. I for various reasons, I do not like idle time. And so I just love creating. I love creating. I always have. And so being able to do music and the podcast and also the work here at Backline is just, it really fuels me. That's what gives me energy.
Oh my gosh. Gosh, that's so great. Is there anything that maybe I didn't bring up about Backline that you wanted to touch on? Like, obviously, if someone wants to visit the website, kind of check you guys out, that it's backline.care.
Yeah, backline.care. And I guess I'd just like to reiterate that all of the services are free. We really are the bridge for folks to find care. While we don't necessarily give that care, we help folks find the care that they need. So through case management, folks can fill out just a simple form on the website. They then get paired with their very own case manager, and we help guide you through the rest of the process. And you're not alone. Every step of the way, there's a case manager there for you. And whether or not you have the financial means to pay for therapy, we don't turn anyone away. We have grants. We have vetted mental health professionals who work on sliding scale. I mean, there's something for everyone within the services that we provide. So just always want to reiterate that, we're here and we're really working on eliminating those barriers so that everyone can get the mental health care that they need.
My podcast has it leans heavily on music. I've always been a bit of a radio child, and I listen to a lot of very diverse musical base. But what are you listening to right now? What are you digging?
Ooh, I love that question. I actually just discovered Flawed mangoes. Have you heard of them?
I have not.
Oh my gosh. I am just kind of obsessed. They're called Flawed mangoes, and they have a song called Reflections that is one of the most beautiful pieces of music I think I've heard in a long time. I would definitely recommend that one.
Okay.
Let me see. I just played a show with Billy Woods, and I'm really, really loving his new album that just came out. Really cool, abstract hip hop. So I would definitely recommend that record as well.
Okay. Well, it's so good.
What are you listening to?
Oh man. So right now, let me see. You guys have recently done a merch launch with Goose. I'm a big Goose guy.
Nice.
We're going to check them out when they come to Atlanta a little later this year. I'm a big Widespread Panic fan. I love.
Oh yeah.
I actually just got turned on to J-Rad this past year. We saw them when they were in Atlanta, and man, if you're into Grateful Dead as a genre, those guys are a hit. I mean, it was
incredible.
They're so good.
Yeah, they are. They're amazing.
Yeah. And of course, Fish will be in town in September. So I'm kind of in that jam band scene, but I also dig Paul Cawthon.
Yeah.
I went through when I was a teenager, I was really big into hip hop. So when you said that about Billy Woods, I'm going to definitely go check that out. I'm always looking for good hip hop music.
Love it.
Well, hey, I won't keep you too much. I won't keep you super long. It's really good to meet you. Life is hard. I've had certainly my struggles every now and then with things, and life can just be really difficult. And I'm really proud to meet you, and I'll share y'all's message. But the fact that you guys offer a lot of different care resources that people can, I don't like the word take advantage of, but people can lean on as a shoulder. Really, really thankful that you made some time for me today and just to chat for a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you so much for spreading the word about the work we do. That's honestly how we get these resources in front of the folks that need it. So we really appreciate it.
All right, Miss Terra, I'm going to spread the word. Thank you so
Awesome.
much. I'll let you get back to your day.
Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too, Terra.
Bye.